What are you doing? What are you doing?
Nothing. Me? Just hanging around.
Hey guys, Nightfall here, and it's been some time since our last quality check video, but it's finally here, and this time we're testing an attachment from a group that I've never tested before, the front rail. And today's attachment being put through the ringer is the Superlight Grip, and I tend to use this grip on a lot of my builds just so I can get that faster ADS speed, and the additional movement speed does help as well, but it's more of a secondary thing to the ADS speed. And with recoil recovery still being not what it should, this attachment is all upside. Or is it? Well, we're going to find out today. Each class will have two separate tests, an ADS speed test and a movement speed test. The ADS speed test will just be comparing how fast it goes from no ADS to full ADS with and without the grip. And then the movement test, where we'll basically race ourselves from one end of the firing range to the other and see if we get the result that we should be expecting to get. The goal we've set for all attachments to pass this quality check is to pass 80% of the tests, which in this video, we have a total of 5 weapon classes since the sniper can't use any front grips, and 2 tests per class equaling a total of 10 tests. So that means if more than 2 of these are fails, this attachment will be tossed with the rest of the failures that we've already tested. And if you're curious about those and you want to see those videos, I have put them all into a single playlist on my channel so you can find them a little easier. And I do want to say that with a lot of new stuff coming into the game and the addition of private matches coming, there's going to be a lot more content, so these videos may even get fewer and farther in between outside of new attachments that we get with new season launches, unless you all show up and show out for this one. I'm talking like, comment, subscribe, the whole 9 yards. And also make sure to follow me on Twitter and join the Discord so you can send me clips or suggestions on what attachments to check out, as from here on forward, I'll probably only test those that are suspected of having some sort of issues with them. But that's enough chit chat, let's go ahead and hop into our first test. ADS tests are quick, so don't blink, but lucky for you, I do have a timer. So our first test shows the assault rifle demonstrated by the ACR does in fact pass with a very close result of only 0.004 off of our expected result. So this one is an easy pass. And when seeing just how minuscule these changes are, you have to wonder if we're using all the wrong attachments, but more on that in the summary. Let's take a look at the next test, and this is the movement test, still using the ACR, no attachment on the left, using a Superlight Grip on the right, nothing else. And we see that we get a 4.316, where we should have gotten a 4.273. And yeah, 2.5% is a very small change, but stretched out over the length of the firing range, you can definitely see it. That is, when it works correctly. This one, however, is definitely not working properly, as it's almost half a second off of what it should be. So this one's going to be a fail. Next weapon, next test, and we have our SMGs, and representing that is the notorious MP7, a fan favorite, and immediately the Superlight Grip on the SMG class is going to be a fail, as there is no noticeable change in ADS speed, even when slowed down to 1/4 of the normal speed. Now the MP7 has a very fast ADS time as it is, so seeing any change is going to be tough, but we should see something, and yet there is nothing. Let's see if the movement speed test fares any better. And doing these movement speed tests, I realized I'll have to test everything again, and if it stacks properly once the phantom movement nerf hits the live servers. But that's a problem for another time. This test is a pass though, as we do get very close to the expected result of 4.127. So 2 weapons in and we are already at the tipping point, meaning if it fails one more of these tests, it's going to fall below our 80% threshold and fail overall. But let's take a look at shotguns next. And I may have jinxed it because just like that, the Superlight Grip is a fail on this test and overall. But at least this time it's actually doing better than what it says. Our expected result for this was supposed to be 0.135, but it got all the way down to 0.083. It's supposed to be a 10% reduction. That's almost 50%. Lesson learned here, but let's see how the movement test goes. And as they are off and running, our expected result here should be 4.354. And we end up getting a 4.366, which is super close and enough for me to call it a pass. And even though the attachment is an overall fail, we still do have 2 more weapon classes to test. LMG's up next, and in our ADS speed test, we get another fail, and this one can go both ways. It's very close to the expected result, but is also the furthest off from all other ADS speed tests, so I'm going to call this one a fail. You can make your own opinion on that one, but officially here, it is a fail. Movement speed test up next, and the LMG is a bulky thing, but it doesn't take a whole lot longer than other weapons like the MP7, and we can see it only took 4.716 seconds to get from one side of the firing range to the other, which is only 0.02 seconds off the expected result, so I can confidently call this one a pass. But let's go ahead and wrap this up with our final weapon class, the Marksman rifle. And again, we see another 0.02 seconds off of our expected result, so no reason to dive any deeper on this one, easy pass. But can we send out the Superlight Grip on a good note? Movement test shows we should get a 4.354 if it's the correct 2.5%, like it says, and we end up getting a 4.383, which is close enough for me to call this last one a pass. So yes, overall, the Superlight attachment did fail, but I think there are some valuable takeaways here when it comes to should you use it on your own builds. So using the Superlight Grip on an SMG, probably a waste as you're not getting ADS speed, at least not on the MP7, and most other SMGs already have a fast enough ADS speed that using attachments that focus on it isn't going to give you much unless you double up on it with another attachment. On the flip side, using it on shotguns will give you a lot more ADS speed, but hip firing and shotguns go together like PB&J, so using attachments that increase ADS speed on shotgun builds might not be the best move. In fact, out of the 5 total weapon classes that were tested, it failed the ADS speed test on 3 of them, which is arguably the main reason that you would even use this attachment in the first place. So that about does it for another quality check video. Here's your reminder to make sure you log in, get your rewards today, and claim your 100 X coins. And then tomorrow is the final day of rewards before the launch of Season 2. And while I'm not sure how many attachments we'll be getting for Season 2, you can bet I'll be testing any new ones that we do get as soon as I can. And one last thing, I know sometimes I run into some of you in-game, and regardless if you're on my team or the enemy team, I do want to say that it's super cool to be recognized within the community, and I love seeing comments like, I played with you earlier today, or stuff like that. This may be a small community because of the number of players that are still playing this game, but honestly, that has its upsides. So if you run into me in the game, feel free to type in chat if you're on my team, just say hey, or stop by one of my most recent videos and leave something in the comments if you're on the enemy team. And yes, I know it seemed like I was whispering this entire video, but that was out of respect to company that I had over. I didn't want to be too loud and I have thin walls, so spare me the comments about, it sounds like you're whispering, why are you whispering? I know, this is a one-time thing, don't get used to it. Everything will be back to normal in future uploads. But I hope you're all as hyped for Season 2 as I am, and I'll catch you in the next upload.